There is not a cloud in the sky. Terrific in the southwest of England. Ireland playing from right. And there is the first. And it comes from Harry McNulty. Harry McNulty. Superb on that alone, of course, in terms of wearing the green jersey. Jordan Conroy, both judging him by his very high standards. Robbie, we didn't quite see the best of him yesterday.
No, he really does step up. We saw him at Twickenham light up the turf. He beat Carlisle's one-on-one, which is some accolade.
Well, 2 tackles missed, bursting through there, Billy Dardis. The way this Irish team play, you wouldn't have thought that when it comes to the 7, it is something they've only really switched focus to as a union in relatively recent times.
It is indeed, but these are the players that have took that formation. The originals, they call, really have grown into this Rugby Europe tournament.
And also we saw it yesterday, Jordan Conroy, who is the speedster, not just hanging a banks. It is a side, really, who... And there, Daly, the inside ball. Stunning stuff, the first try. And it's that man, Terry Kennedy, try number goes to the top of the list over the course of the day. And this Irish team who've been scoring at a rate of 1 try every 2 minutes this tournament, well, they've kept that up. A try after just 90 seconds.
Well, what a stat that. You see here, Billy Dardis pointing right. He spotted the great awareness from the playmaker, and then the players respond to it. Terry Kennedy, one of these standout players you mentioned, he sniffs opportunity. He's going to get in amongst it, but that's all about Dardis' awareness of space and execution are going blind.
Yes, you talk about good stats. That's not a bad attempt, but it will just be 5-0. How many points do you think Ireland have conceded over the so
32.
52. 5 days. Now, give that some sort of perspective. You remember better than I the great New Zealand side of 2 decades ago. Let's go back to 2000 in Paris, which was seen by performances when they won the World Series event there. They conceded 40 over 2 days. Now, we're not quite comparing apples with apples. There is not the depth in this competition that you have in the World Series. Some sort of illustration about how dominant Ireland out this Rugby Europe Grand Prix so far. This is the 3rd of the 4 events. Picked up there by Dardis, stepping, pulling off the tackles. The Georgian is all too easy. Dardis gets try number 2. And that's their 20th weekend.
No, I absolutely love what you're saying there, Martin, because you're right. Apples for in some ways you can see how easy it is to score tries in Rugby 7, so for them to be so sound defensively just shows where they've come. Their system and their playing ability really is brilliant to watch, and this is all about a little bit of will, a little bit more commitment. If you want the ball more than someone else and you get it, you've got that little bit of competitiveness ingrained in you, but it results in positive actions. This Irish team, very humble, as always mentioned about them. They are really flying into this tournament.
Well, Billy Dardis knocking another fade there, just right hand upright on that occasion. Well, the Irish do much everything right these days, aren't they? Let's look at the senior 15 side. That with Australia, 6 Nations. 1 or 2 concerns at under 20 level. I know they didn't do very well at the recent World Under Rugby 20 Championships, where they finished 11th out of 12 there. But program, the 15s program. Well, let's put that mistake to right on cue, really, for me, wasn't it? Failing to go the required 10 metres. So here's one of those law variations we have. And the ball doesn't go 10. It's a free kick to the opposition. So a chance for Georgians get ball in hand. Little tackle coming in there from good persistence. He goes down with the help there of Harry McNulty. Ireland making sure they make the tackles. Deliberately knocked forward. That is a penalty.
He's going to find himself in the sin bin here as well. Any type like that, don't get it, you're going to get 2 minutes in the sin bin.
And for those people who are not necessarily entirely the sevens game, who not that familiar with it, 2 minutes. Simbin, compare that with 10 in the 15s game. Is that really a direct?
6, and it's going to happen. It will be through Tapuzadze.
Great step, looking for the offload. McNulty it is, who goes back to. Now can the Georgians recycle? Yes, they can. So Georgia, their score.
Almost typically Georgian as they increase their physicality. Team and mention how good their discipline is. That score out and out from not having enough men. As soon as the breakdown becomes a factor from this here, as soon as that ball's tapped down, that's a yellow. Subsequently, play builds, ball is shift right. As soon as this breakdown happens, McNulty's the man to watch. He makes the tackle, gets back up, but then engages in the breakdown. You've only got 6 men, you can't be seen to do that. He's got to push left, help out Conroy from Georgia, and that score from it.
On occasions like this, the conversion's absolutely crucial, and that was successful off the left foot. Jorab Schnaladze, the try, 10-7 score. We've still got half a minute on the sin bin, so the point of when you've got a 1-man advantage, the one you've got to do, Rob, is to get the basics right.
You've got to get the basics right. Absolutely. That is why this Irish team are so good, because their foundation, their set piece is so good, and that is what beats these lower nation teams.
So Hugo Keenan takes the direction here to Shane Daly. Daly works his way through there. So we'll play until the next stoppage, unless it's a penalty. Off goes Keenan again. On to O'Donnell. O'Donnell, the burst of pace, the man outside. Well, just enough of a Georgian hand on that, but Ireland have a chance to rebuild here. Although Georgia counter the inside ball, there was a foot on. That will bring half-time. Well, Georgia holding Ireland to 3 points, so into the final 7 minutes, and there haven't been too many times when Ireland panic at all over the course of 5 days and a bit now of the Europe Grand Prix series, but they may have to apply their minds and their bodies for another 7 minutes, because their unbeaten record, they've won every match so far in the series, not quite under threat, but they're certainly not in just yet.
Still opportunities, boys, for the outside instead of going back at inside shoulder. You go to the outside shoulders, even if they start to chase, right? They find a lazy defender, and either still come back on the inside with a switch, or we can continue to play on the outside because someone will jam in. Fair enough? Yep. Yeah. Anytime we carry direct though through anything, make sure we bounce back to where we. The speed of that needs to be really good. Yeah? Yep. So I want us to continue just to speed up our recycle. Yeah. Don't be afraid to carry to the outside. Someone side, we can still get the ball into the second last or the last. Fair enough? Yep. Let's go, boys. Go. Back on? Yeah.
Well, Georgia just the 6th score a try in the series against Ireland.
It's gone forward.
And we talk about time have been a little vulnerable. Well, the only time so far in the series was in a quarter-final in the in Moscow, and I think Portugal pushed them, didn't they?
19-12 it was indeed, so just scraped through in relative terms to this Irish team. Quarter-final game won. There's a bit of an Achilles heel, but certainly they're going to get their fitness running these second day starts, because it might well be 20-12 now, but 3 hours ago.
Well, they're stuttering final go. And perhaps now in the opening 7 minutes here against Georgian. Is that just a coincidence? Significant. We will learn shortly. Now that was a great step. And look at the speed here. And he's pinning his ears back. And he's not going to be stopped. And you can see there how Billy Dardis is ensuring that Billy could not the post. But Georgia have the lead. Ireland. Now that's a unit over the course of 3 tournaments.
Well, how about that? If you're going to try and conquer this Irish team, you've got to come up with something. That little stutter step on the outside, that is outside. One of the few mentioned, Martin, about got a lot of track nation, and you can see his pace flying down that right-hand side. Tight hip flexors, perhaps, as some sprint. Those knees are flying high.
The conversion here it is from out wide. Well, Gareth Steenson knocks them over from here. The kicking tee, but Georgia having rather less success with the drop kick. And who knows, Billy Dardis there motoring back. Couldn't do anything about stopping Spandarashvili getting over the try line, but reducing that score to from a possible 7 may prove significant towards the go. 5.5 minutes. Ireland really are under threat, unbeaten through the first 2 tournaments of the series. Are they going to come unstuck in the quarters here? Good catch there from McNulty. McNulty's away up to halfway. Urgency required here from the Irishman. High tackle. Away comes Daly. We're going to go for the penalty. Option will they go for? Dardis goes quick. They have to play with tempo now. Here's Kennedy. 5 tries in the series. To Keenan, and Keenan goes through. Well, the crisis has lasted, what, 20 seconds?
And that signifies just how good this Irish team are. Change the tempo. Georgia have to come all guns blazing, try and slow it down occasionally to get their physicality into it. But when Ireland get going, they're just another level. Keenan benefits for work on the inside from Terry Kennedy. The little bounce step he does, just keep an eye on this. About to receive the ball now, squares up the defender. Outside step. What a line. As soon as he hits that outside line, you have to commit to exactly there, stepped in, leaving the gap for Keenan. That was great attacking play.
Oh, and the conversion again has got a bit of that left to right movement on it. So that's a 3rd failure with the conversion for Billy Dardis.
Such a nuance of the game, that little step outside jump. You can see the turn shoulders, and that is what made the try.
So here is that other law or variation which, if you're not familiar with this particular code, is different from 15s. You score the try, you take the kickoff. Although today, Rob, such is the success of teams in retaining their kickoffs now, there's a bit of a debate whether we may actually reverse that.
It's now a real attacking weapon. You can see what it gives you, great field position and a little bit of momentum.
So on there from Conroy, who we've yet to see really put his skates on so far. Here goes McNulty.
Tackle 5! Tackle's complete.
Well, the ball turned, but illegally so. And an opportunity for the men in green to reinforce their advantage here. A 7-point score would be crucial. They're going for the set piece.
And just to explain this a little bit further, as soon as Harry McNulty, number 5, his knee hits the floor, that's deemed a tackle. The Georgian players must then release and assume that it is a breakdown. They don't, they rip the ball, and as a result, it's a penalty. As soon as that knee hits, tackle, you must release a player, let him go to ground.
McNulty fires that one down. On to Kennedy, he's one of the flyers here. He's got Conroy outside him. Kennedy goes himself, look at Conroy, first man on the scene. There's the second. Good Georgian defence, scrambling it might have been, but they get a penalty here. And Kennedy off a little bit. He's got to come back 5. No panic here from the Irish.
No, so simple. Slow it down. You know, all you need is a half tackle, one outside line, you barrel through. They've got McNulty and Daly in the middle. Big old men. They're looking to play the big.
O'Donnell here to Dardis. McNulty with the running line. The defence was waiting for him. Here comes the second phase, though. On to Daly. Shove it on here to McNulty, the long pass, and here's the speedster, a little step inside. Still going up to the try line, but he can't get the ball down. And Kennedy will, his second try of the match, his 6th of the tournament. And Ireland now have a chance to really stretch their legs, both literally and figuratively.
Well, that's a commendable defensive effort from the Georgians. Outstanding on their goal line to keep Ireland out phase on phase, but ultimately just too much. McNulty with an exquisite 20-metre right-hand pass across the Conroy. He bounces off his left, comes back off his right, spins around, doesn't quite get there. Desperation once again from the Georgians, but Teddy Kennedy, he follows it round. McNulty clears the threat as he made the pass, and Kennedy strolls in. What a good score, but that is great defence.
Talking about specific 7 skills, there about the bit about a player having a knee on the ground, meaning therefore that the tackle has happened. I guess part of the technique is, as a tackle player, you want to get that knee down straight away. Yeah,
absolutely. The quicker you can create that breakdown, the less people can get amongst it. What you sometimes see, which is almost farcical, as it happened in Twickenham, 6 of the Samoan players came in, picked the guy up and threw him into touch. He walked about 30 metres with him. It was a minute and a half of play, because it remains open play until the knee hits the floor or more than one player from each side joins. So rugby laws out in full there.
Yes, exploiting the rules or the laws as it is in rugby. All part of sport. Well, that time the restart not quite happening for Ireland, the knock-on. But that is it. Ireland have weathered their minor storm on a day which is quite perfect for just about everything, I suppose, but high-level sport. It was very, very hot yesterday. How many times have we been to this part of the world in freezing temperatures with the wind gusting? We're sounding rather like typical Englishmen, aren't we? So Georgia, can they perform one final act of defiance? Because that's all that it will be. Look at the press defence here from the Irish.
Forward, full time.
So the whistle goes, and among other things, that result means that not only are Ireland into the semi-final, they move into the Hong Kong qualifier. Would give them every chance of becoming one of those core sides. So Ireland